What's up guys, my name is Ace, and welcome to the very first episode of Gun Guides for Modern Warfare 3. This is the series where I go into great detail with all of the stats beyond the detailed stats that you have access to in the game, as well as some excellent attachment combinations that I put together for you guys. And if you guys enjoy this type of content and you want to see more gun guides in the future, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on that bell for notifications. And with that out of the way, let's dive into this, and we'll kick it off with our damage profile. And with the MCW, the upper torso damage profile that's stated in the menus also applies anywhere in the arms, all the way down to the hands, whereas everywhere else in the body that's not the head is going to be your base damage, or what's stated in the menu as your lower torso damage. And with this gun, it's going to be a 5 to 7 shot kill to the body. However, headshots are quite powerful on this gun. Up close, all you need to do is mix one headshot in with your upper torso shots, and this will reduce the number of shots to kill down to 4. So that's something you definitely want to keep in mind. Not all of the guns in this game really benefit this much from headshots. And now let's move on to our rate of fire, which is kind of middle of the road for assault rifles at 714 rounds per minute. And what this means is our 5-shot time to kill potential is 336 milliseconds. This is actually the slowest killing assault rifle in the game right now when we're talking about body shots. Which may surprise some of you because this gun is one of the more powerful guns in the game, but the big difference maker here is the fact that you only need that one headshot mixed in with body shots up close to cut your time to kill potential down to 252 milliseconds, which for this game is a very fast time to kill. As for our ranges, our maximum damage range, where we're guaranteed a 5-shot kill anywhere in the body, this is 26.7 meters, which is actually pretty weak compared to the other assault rifles in the game. This is tied with the MTZ as having the lowest maximum damage range. However, one nice upside with the MCW is it has a great bullet velocity at 710 meters per second. As for hardcore, just gonna have a brief section on this. We do get a 1-shot kill to the entire body within the maximum damage range, which is excellent, and our 1-shot kill potential to the upper torso extends out to about 35 meters, and then our 1-shot headshot potential, this will extend out to about 45 meters with this gun. So overall, pretty solid gun for hardcore, although most guns are. Then let's have a look at our hipfire stats, and our standing hipfire when we're not moving is standard for assault rifles at 2.6 degrees. Since it's the first episode, I'll just explain. In my graphic, the circle is our average hipfire spread for the assault rifles, whereas the dashes are what our hipfire spread is for that current gun. And then for our maximum hipfire spread, this is when we're moving, this is 8 degrees, which is actually the worst in the assault rifle category. So far you're probably wondering, why is this gun so popular? It seems like it's just the worst in so many areas. Well, let's move on to recoil. This is where the MCW really shines. This gun kicks basically just straight upwards. There's no big gaps between the shots that you're firing, so it's not jumping up on you super high. It's a super slow and controlled climb with your recoil, and there's essentially zero horizontal recoil with this gun. And this makes this the most accurate and easy to control full auto assault rifle in the entire game, and one of the most accurate guns in general in the entire game. As for handling stats, our aim down sight time is pretty standard for assault rifles in this game at 240 milliseconds, and our sprint to fire time is unfortunately the slowest in the assault rifle category at 220 milliseconds for our standard sprint out time, and roughly 325 milliseconds for our tactical sprint out time, keeping in mind that second value is hand tested, and there is a bit of room for frame rounding. After that, our reload add time, which is the amount of time it takes to reload without any unnecessary animations, this is just 1.55 seconds, which is a bit above average for assault rifles and quite solid. And then finally, for the base stats on this gun, let's have a look at our mobility stats. And our base movement speed, as well as our aim walking movement speed, these values are a little bit above average for the assault rifle category. However, our sprint speed is just slightly slower than average for assault rifles, but in general, there's nothing out of the ordinary here with these movement speeds. And with that, that's going to wrap it up for the important base stats of the MCW. Normally, this is where I'd get into like barrel attachments, for instance, but I've decided this year that's not really necessary since you can see those stats very clearly displayed in the menus. However, we do have an aftermarket part for this gun, which is the Jack Raven kit. So we are going to be looking at this one in a bit more detail since it changes quite a bit with the gun. And again, you can see most of what this changes in the actual in-game stats. So you can see our handling, mobility, and accuracy are all improved here, but it's harming our damage range and recoil control. So let's dive a little bit deeper since we don't get the full picture with all of those stats. We can see here, most of our damage values are reduced, although it does slightly bump up our headshot multiplier, so it doesn't really kill our headshot damage profile. But the main thing to point out here is it's still going to be a 5 to 7 shot kill, and up close, it's still going to be a 5-shot kill anywhere in the body. However, our body multipliers have changed a little bit. Now we only get that bonus damage to the upper torso, and this doesn't include the arms when using this kit. Additionally, when it comes to headshots, now we need to mix 2 headshots in with upper torso shots if we want to cut this down to a 4-shot kill, so that's going to be more difficult to do. However, we do get a noticeably faster fire rate and therefore a noticeably better base time to kill since it's the same number of shots to kill. Up close, we're killing in just 300 milliseconds, which is right around average for assault rifles now, and at a distance, it's 450 milliseconds. It's also worth noting, if we manage to mix those 2 headshots in with upper torso shots, our time to kill potential is 225 milliseconds. As for a range comparison here, just like the detailed stats show, this will be dropping our range values by a noticeable margin. So now that 5-shot kill to the body is just over 20 meters, which isn't great for an assault rifle. You'll also notice our bullet velocity is significantly cut down with this, down to 480 meters per second, and that is going to be quite noticeable at longer ranges. However, this kit isn't really all that viable at longer ranges because of our recoil, and when we have a look at it here, you can see this has so much more recoil than the base version of the MCW. Especially with the first several shots fired, which are, of course, the most important shots that you're firing. You can see pretty big jumps between each of those bullets, and this climbs very, very quickly on you. You'll notice this right away if you switch to this kit. It climbs very fast. It also has a bit of a zigzag pattern to it, which is much more difficult to react to and control compared to the base version of the MCW. So if you are using this kit, it's definitely going to limit you at those longer ranges. However, you will see some benefits if you keep yourself up close and personal, and you tend to be a bit more aggressive due to that faster time to kill and better handling and mobility. And with that, that is going to wrap it up for the breakdown of the stats of the MCW, but now let's get into some amazing attachment combinations I've got for you guys. And the first one is, in my opinion, one of the best builds in the game currently. This is my accuracy build. With this, for our muzzle, we're using the T51R billeted brake, which massively improves our vertical recoil, and most of the recoil with this gun is vertical, and it only harms our horizontal recoil a little bit, and we'll make up for that with some other attachments that combine nicely with this muzzle. And these attachments are the FTAC SP12 angled grip for our underbarrel, as well as the SL Crater heavy barrel. This is my favorite barrel to use on the MCW. It's got a lot of great benefits, and it barely hurts our aim down sight speed, which you wouldn't normally expect for this many upsides. And then to top that off for our recoil control, we've got the RB Regal Heavy Stock. That one's got some great recoil benefits. And then we've just got our optic, which for me, I really like the Mark III reflector optic. Obviously, use whatever optic that you prefer, but I would recommend an optic for this since it is designed for precision. And with this, as you can see right here, there is practically no recoil with this gun. Sure, it climbs a little bit very slowly, but you can very easily compensate for that. And I have no problem picking people off head glitches across entire maps with this setup. This is insanely accurate, and the best part is we still have a very respectable aim down sight speed at 266 milliseconds. Our sprint out time is unfortunately quite slow, but this isn't the type of gun that you should be rushing around super aggressively with. It's more for locking down longer lanes. And also, our range values are reduced by about 5%, but that's okay. You're still going to be outgunning just about anything at longer ranges, simply due to the fact that this is one of the most accurate builds you can make in the entire game. So there we go, that's the first one, and one of my favorite builds with the MCW. However, I've got another build for you guys that I think many of you guys will like. This is my Stealth and Strafe build. So obviously with this one, we're rocking a suppressor on there, so we're staying off the radar when we're firing. We once again have that SL Crater heavy barrel. It's excellent for the MCW. For our underbarrel, we have the XRK Edge BW4 hand stop. This one helps with our aim down sight speed and our aim walking movement speed, which is excellent, especially when you combine that with the A90 Venom stock, which is also going to be helping us with our strafe speed. And then to top all of this off, I just put the 40 round mag on there because you are going to be a bit more aggressive with this build. And with that slower time to kill, sometimes you're going to run into 3 or 4 enemies and you want to be able to kill them all without having to reload in between. So the 40 round mag is a nice touch on this. And with this particular build, it's still a very accurate gun. We've got better recoil control than the base. Even though the total magnitude is higher here, we're firing 40 rounds instead of 30, so it is actually more accurate than the base version of the gun. Our aim down sight speed is still very solid at 258 milliseconds, and our sprint out time is not amazing, but that's okay because this is a great strafing build. So more often than not, you want to try to get aim down sight and strafe your corner, and also try to strafe back and forth in a gunfight to evade shots, which is quite effective in this game. And when you combine all of that together, this just makes for a nice all-around MCW build for staying off the radar and being a little bit more on the aggressive side. And then finally, I want to share one more build with you guys, and this is with that Jack Raven kit. Personally, I'm not a big fan of this kit, and this isn't a build that I'm going to be using often by any means, but I want to make sure I'm at least offering you guys a build for those of you guys that want to try the conversion out. With this, obviously, the Jack Raven kit is taking up one of our attachment slots. We once again have a 40 round mag, since this is designed to be more aggressive when using this kit, and also with a higher fire rate, we're burning through magazines a little bit faster. I've got the RB Rapid Strike grip, the RB Regal Heavy Stock, and the second line Mammoth Barrel. And these are primarily to help us out with our recoil control a little bit. And you can see that we are noticeably more accurate than the Jack Raven build on its own. However, we still have reasonably big gaps between those initial shots that are fired, so it's something you have to keep in mind. This is not designed for long-range engagements. This is more so if you want to be really aggressive with the MCW, and you just want that higher fire rate. Again, far from my favorite build with the MCW, just wanted to make sure I was sharing something for you guys here. And with that, that is going to wrap it up for today's first episode of Gun Guides for Modern Warfare 3. As for my thoughts on the MCW, it's obviously one of the better guns in the game right now. Despite the fact that it doesn't have that faster time to kill, accuracy is key in this game. And also, it's nice to have that great headshot multiplier, because that can give you an excellent time to kill as well. You just have to be aiming for it. Now, of course, those are just my thoughts on the MCW, and I'd love to hear what you guys think about this gun in those comments down below. Also, I am planning on going through this category by category, so I will be covering an assault rifle for the next episode, but I'm curious to know from you guys down below, which assault rifle would you like me to cover next? If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more gun guides like this one if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.